It was nearly 100 years ago that Walt Disney first hit the silver screens with Steamboat Willie. In the subsequent years, Disney has been responsible for some of the most magical, hysterical and heartbreaking moments of cinema. We are here to attempt to count down our 10 greatest Disney animated moments. But first, here's Neil with 10 Disney facts.
Hi-ho, and thank you very much. So, here we go with some Disney animated facts. The Little Mermaid was the first Disney movie to be released on home video after its theatrical release.
Will you get your head out of the clouds and back in the water where it belongs?
The lion characters in The Lion King roar with the sound of tigers, as the filmmakers found that a lion's roar wasn't nearly loud enough. Disney was sued by a hyena biologist for their portrayal of the hyenas as villains in The Lion King. Kitty. Mickey Mouse's original name was Mortimer. Oh boy! Even though we now know him as Prince Charming, we never actually found out the real name of the prince's character in Cinderella.
But didn't you know that
Pocahontas is the only Disney princess with a tattoo.
But Grandmother Willow, what is my path?
Ariel is the daughter of Triton, who is the son of Poseidon. Poseidon is the brother of Zeus, who is the father to Hercules. That would mean Ariel and Hercules are related.
Oh, all right.
Jackie Chan provided the voice, both speaking and singing, for the Beast in the Chinese version of Beauty and the Beast. Tiana, the Princess and the Frog Princess, is the only Disney princess with dimples.
Another coffee here, chef.
Coming right up, Virgil.
Yen Sid, the sorcerer in Fantasia, is just Disney spelled backwards. Oh boy. Have a great evening, guys.
Thank you very much, Neil, from wherever you are saying that. Yes, we're going to try animated Disney moments. And who better to come and join us for this is somebody that is steeped into Disney legend and Disney lore from the Jamie and Stephen podcast. Amazingly, her name's Jamie. Hello, Jamie.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. You?
I'm very well, thank you very much. This was an interesting one because every time I thought of a great moment, all of a sudden I realised it was Pixar or something like that. So I had to rein myself in because there were certain moments that I thought, well, that's got to go on there, and then realised it was Pixar. So, well, before we sort of talk about your top 10, let's talk about you. I've listened to a couple of episodes of your podcast, which is great.
Okay, good.
I wanted to listen to the very first one, obviously, because it sort of tells a little bit about yourself and Stephen, about how you met, and so you were a cast member for Disney, weren't you?
Yes, yeah. We both worked at the Disney store where we live, Leicester. I started in 2008 and he came along 2010. So now, yeah, and I was his manager.
Oh, were you?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Now, the one thing I've been very lucky over the last few years that I've been to Disney World a few times, and I always, whenever I go there, especially the characters, you always think, God, it must be an amazing job to work at Disney World. But being the fact that you're called cast members for a start, it makes it feel a lot more grander than being a shop worker or something like that. What did you feel the Disney magic, or is it just like a normal job?
No, it's not like a normal job. Yeah, no. Just knowing the guidelines alone, it's definitely not a normal job, and remembering those as well. Are
you allowed to say what the guidelines?
Yeah,
I'm assuming that you don't work there now.
Well, I mean, the Disney store doesn't run anymore.
That's right. Only online
one now. Yeah. Things like, weren't called customers; we called them guests, and we had to give a magical experience rather than service. The guys that would help us with our tills were called rescue rangers. The tills themselves, so that area was the box office,
right?
And the shop floor was the stage, and the stock room was backstage.
Right.
So we were like cast members, we weren't called sales assistants. Can't think of anything else. There were codes for certain types of guests, so obviously if we had known thefts, but I can't remember what they were.
Right. So would it feel like it wasn't a normal job, or once you're in? I mean, I'm not saying that you would have done this, but say you had like a heavy night the night before, you thought, I'm just going to go out for a few drinks. You come in and you're a little bit worse for wear, and all of a sudden they're talking cast members and box office, and you're thinking, bollocks, I'm just going to go onto the shop floor. That's all I'm doing. I'm just serving people. Or does it get ingrained in you a little bit that it is a little bit special?
Yeah, no, it does get ingrained. I actually have gone into work as a cast member, having not gone to bed the night before and literally just turned up in the outfit that I wore going out.
Right. Oh, really?
It couldn't have been the worst time of year as well, because it was Christmas Eve and we had to mark the sale down, and I came into work still with alcohol in my bloodstream.
Oh, dear.
I think that was the year before Stephen started there, so he didn't see me in that.
Right.
In that way. Yeah.
Right.
It was before I was a manager.
So a lot of people really felt the Disney magic that Christmas Eve, then, didn't they? Through you, I would assume.
Yes, and smelt that vodka magic as well.
I mean, with the fact that I when the Disney store was here and we had one, I think the nearest one we had one was in Swindon from where I am.
Okay.
I can remember like taking the kids to Disney store or Christmas shopping there. That was one thing we definitely did, was Christmas shopping at Disney store, because you could get so much stuff, and my kids have been brought up as like Disney fans. We got all the videos and DVDs when they first came out, and dress up dresses for the girls and that, the princess dresses, and being a Star Wars fan now, with the fact that Disney, that I go online, as you can see behind me, I've got so much crap that's Disney that comes from either the Disney store online or various parks or whatever. So when you left, did it feel like, you're obviously a Disney fan? Well, I say you're obviously, I mean, are you a Disney fan? Is that
of course, yes. Right. Yeah.
But were you a Disney fan? Were you a Disney fan before you got the job, or was that like the reason that you got the job?
No, I've always been. My family were Disney fans, and they always went to America, although I never got the chance to go.
Right.
They always did. And like even extended family, and some even still go now. We're actually doing our first trip to Walt Disney World this year, which I'm so excited.
Oh
yeah.
My God.
Oh, Stephen was the first person I told when I booked it, and he was so excited, and obviously straight away was just giving me so much tips and like where to eat, what to do more. And even though it was like booked like April last year, but yeah, no, it's always been there. And I actually got to work at Disney Store as my first job when I was 16.
Oh, right.
As a Christmas temp. And then I lived in Spain for a while. And then when I came back to the UK, it was because I met my husband while in Spain, and he's from Leicester. And it became my first job here in Leicester.
Right.
And very quickly, I got right back into it. It was my first job at 16. And then I went back to it when I was 21, 22.
Right. So I'll just say you will have I had not an argument, but there's somebody who I work with that's quite cynical about Disney, about the fact that it's just they stick a pair of ears on everything and they sell it. And I said to him, I guarantee you, it doesn't matter how cynical you are, if you walk down Main Street, it is literally the happiest place on earth, like they say, because you cannot do nothing but feel happy when, even if it's really, really busy, or if it's pissing down with rain, which it can do, you know, like that, and then it stops. It is. I tell anybody that just go and just experience it. You're going to have a wonderful time. You really will.
Oh, yeah. Whether you have children or not. I mean, Steve doesn't currently have children at the minute.
Right.
Hopefully one day he will. But him and his partner have been several times to both Disneyland Paris and Walt Disney World. And they you can't sometimes explain.
No, you can't. You can't.
For me, and my husband, in particular, since having our own children, we, a few years ago, it was actually when we went to Disneyland Paris, just as the COVID restrictions were coming off, and the 30th anniversary celebration had just started, and we became annual pass holders that year.
Oh, really?
And we did it for 2 years, and we made sure we were there 4 times within the year of having the pass. And we drove and we stayed off-site, on-site, and it was the best money we've ever spent.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah. And our eldest son in particular was part of the reason we did it. He's non-verbal autistic.
Oh, right.
When we were in Disneyland Paris, so many things he did for the first time there. Walking independently, speaking, just not feeling stressed. And he just was so calm and happy and joyful. And so that alone, was just a good enough excuse.
Yeah.
So for us to keep going. And I can't wait for him to see the big one later this year.
Oh dear, you lucky thing. Yeah, we went last year for my wife and I. It was just me and my wife for our 30th wedding anniversary. It was wonderful, and we're hopefully going to try and go again next year. But you'll have a whale of a time. Okay, right. In regards to your top 10,
okay,
how hard did you find putting your top 10 together?
At first, I struggled because obviously I was trying to think of moments that not necessarily people would assume are the best top 10. I was trying to just think of my favourites and why it affects me. But then once I started getting into it, I actually then struggled to narrow it to 10, and I left off quite a few. Yeah. And there's even 2 from one film because I just couldn't not put it in there. And so I
completely agree. And the thing is, once you start delving in, you realize that one certain movie might have 5 moments that you absolutely love. I'm the same as you. I've got 2 from the same movie. So before we start anything else, let's do this.
Lisa's challenge.
What are you saying?
Thank you, Lisa. Right, so how many duplicates do you think we're going to have between our 2 top 10s? Because there's so many moments and so many. You got 100 years of movies almost. It's going to be interesting if we've got 1. To be perfectly honest,
I think we've definitely got 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if we've got more. Maybe 3. No, I'll go with 3.
You're going to go 3?
Yeah, I'm going to go 3.
Okay, I'm going to be cheeky then. I'm going to go with 2. And I've just realised, looking at my top 10, that I've got one from Ratatouille in my top 10. Now, that's a Pixar movie, isn't it?
It is a Pixar movie.
So I need to quickly change my top 10. I can't believe that. Okay, all right, but we'll get to that when we get to it. Okay. Right, Jamie, kick us off with your number 10, please.
Okay, so my number 10 is the introduction at the start of Hercules.
Okay.
I have a good reason for this. So obviously it starts off with we're seeing Greek artifacts and Charlton Heston's amazing Shakespearean type voice starts narrating, and then he's interrupted by the muses with the complete opposite feeling or sound to Charlton Heston. And I'm sure it's, they say something like, oh, this is like a Greek tragedy. And they want to spice it up. And one of them says, we'll take it from here, darling. And he just says, you go, girls. And then it goes, do, 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 do. And then they start singing. And I remember seeing that in the cinema. I was 11. And the Disney store actually opened where I'm from, Aberdeen, that year. And it was Hercules that opened the store.
There you go.
So, and I remember being in the cinema and thinking instantly, I'm going to love this film.
Yeah. With that shoulder wiggle, you should be at the West End for the live Hercules show.
Oh, Stephen's actually going to see it.
Yeah,
I'm able to get tickets.
My wife's taking me to London for my birthday in August, and we've got tickets to go and see it as well. So I'm really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. Yeah, that's a great. I mean, Hercules is one of those movies. It is a perfect Disney movie, Hercules, where they take something from history and they put their own little slant on it, and it's just a great movie. I may come on to that a little bit later on.
Okay.
But that's a great one to start us with, and the music in there is every song is great in Hercules. So that's why I'm really looking forward. I think my wife thought I was disappointed when she told me what we were doing for my birthday, but I'm genuinely I've seen some of the clips of the live show where they've put them up online. It looks amazing.
Yeah. And we recently did Hercules on the podcast, and that came out a few weeks ago, and that was one of a handful of 5 out of 5s from Stephen.
There you go. He seems to me like he's very hard to please.
Very hard to please. He has a very high bar.
Well, that's good then if it was 5 for Hercules.
Yeah.
Okay, that's your number 10. My number 10, I'm going from my favourite Disney movie of all time. When we did Disney movies, this was my number 1. So it's from Encanto. Ooh. And this is, I'm terribly sorry to all our American friends, and Mexican friends and whatever. Dos oruguitas, which I think means 2 butterflies.
Yes, it does.
So this is the moment when you find out, why the basically a flashback to the grandmother and what happened with her husband, and I'm a mess whenever I watch it. You'll find out, Jamie, that I'm a real pussy when it comes to movies, and especially when it comes to anything to do with Lin-Manuel Miranda. For some reason, whether it's Moana, whether it's Hamilton, in the Heights, he gets me every time. And it's such a beautiful moment, but it's also like chilling and horrific because you realize what is happening. It's just I just love that movie. I love everything about that movie. I listen to the soundtrack so much, just the soundtrack, because every song is a banger. And that was another one that I thought, oh shit, is that a Pixar movie? No, it's not a Pixar. I'm sure it's not a Pixar movie.
No, it's not.
No. So I was all right with that one. But it's are you an Encanto fan?
We are huge Encanto fans. When Mirabelle featured in Disneyland Paris Parade, something color, Millions of Color, or something like that. It was the parade after the 30th, and obviously it had high hopes. It had a lot of pressure because the 30th was so good.
Right. And
she featured in that parade, and like one of the videos I took of it, I'm screaming, Mirabelle! And she's there with her skirts, and she had gloves on because it was cold.
Oh right, bless her.
Bless her. But no,
that's a great one. That's a great start. Okay, your number 9 then, please.
Right, so it's the snow scene in Bambi.
Oh, this was in my top 20 without a doubt.
I think everybody talks about, oh, you know, when they're running from the hunter and all of a sudden the mum just stops being drawn, you know, and some people make fun of it, and then some people say how heartbroken they were when they saw that. Oh yeah, spoiler alert.
For like a movie that's like 80 years old. I'm only joking.
But this scene is right after, and you know, he runs to where they've been hibernating during the winter, and thinking that his mum is right behind him, and she's not right behind him, and he comes back out, and he's just walking through the snow, bearing in mind this is his first winter as a baby, and it's that snow, and it gets thicker and thicker and thicker. And another reason I picked it as a moment was when we did this episode in our podcast, Stephen revealed how they made the snow, because I always wondered, God, that must have taken them so long to draw those snowflakes.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was cornflakes.
Really?
Yes. So what they did is they got a blank screen, so a backdrop in a studio, got a camera out and poured God knows how much cornflakes in front of the camera. I don't know how much film they did. And then obviously they took it into the editing. They did a thing where they could change the colour so that it was the opposite. So the snowflakes looked white.
Right, okay.
And slowed it down and then put it on top of the...
That's Disney magic right there, isn't it?
And like, I mean, this is like 1941, 42 when they're making Bambi. I think it comes out in 42.
Yeah.
And like, amazing. Film itself has only been around for not even 40 years at this point.
Yeah,
and already he is just so pushing the effects. And for animation, it's not live action, it's animation, and that was used right up until Little Mermaid.
That's crazy. I mean, I'd never heard that before, but it's kind of it's what Walt Disney was all about, wasn't it? Pushing the boundaries and pushing things that you wouldn't even think. How would anybody even think of doing that as a way of sort of just using cornflakes?
I don't. Special effects people, I have always been so passionate about. I did think they've got such an amazing job, and they are so talented. And sound effects as well.
Oh yeah.
I mean, one of my favourites is like the Jurassic Park, you know, with the bass.
Yeah.
That water ripple. I mean, who would have thought to do that? Only those people.
And those moments become iconic, don't they? That's the thing, and it's something that it's what sets certain movies and certain people apart. You know, they've got that thing of looking out of the box or looking sideways and thinking, well, what if we try this? You know. Yeah, it's fascinating.
And and somebody thought, let's pour some cornflakes in front of a camera.
And there you go. We're a podcast that is not just entertaining but educational. So you learn something every episode. So there you go. Okay, that's your number 9. My number 9, I'm going for Hercules. And it's the 0 to hero moment.
Right.
Which again is basically it's the ladies singing.
I know.
And we find out what, you know, Hercules is now a hero. So we're finding out like what all the different things that he's up to, and the fact that he's now slaying every monster that is ahead of him, and he's basically become, well, he's not invincible, but he's become this hero that everybody loves. Yeah.
Who wants the gladiator? Hercules!
Well, there you go. What time are you on stage? Goodness me.
I can't help it. It's one of those films, like, even in our own podcast, Stephen was like, stop it, we're going to get sued.
I wouldn't worry about that. It's all advertising for their show, isn't it? So
especially with the new musical coming out.
Yeah, I mean, it's great because I think James Woods is a great villain in that. As Hades, he's fantastic, and Danny DeVito as well as Phil. It's a great cast, and it's just a great movie. If you've never really sort of sat down and watched Hercules, I would thoroughly recommend to stick it on, because it is just, and it's fun for the kids, obviously, but it's just a fun movie, whether you're a kid or an adult. It's just perfect Disney as far as I'm concerned. So that's my number 9. So your number 8 then, please.
Right, okay, so this might shock some people because it is Frozen, but not Frozen 1.
Oh,
I know.
Okay.
Because I actually prefer Frozen 2.
Okay.
And so I've gone with the Into the Unknown. Now, I went to see this in the cinema with Stephen, actually.
Right.
And the minute the...
She's off again.
And she's, and she's trying to figure out what this is. You think, oh, all is good in Arendelle. And it's the song. Like, again, that whole sequence. And through the sequence as well, like, I love her using her powers. And it's the bit where she's saying, are you out there? Are you in there? Can you hear me? Do you feel me? And our magic makes the elements that she's about to go and find. And then she has that, bit where she does the skid, and then she does that high note, and then all the icicles appear.
Right.
It's just the whole scene. And I mean, I'm a huge Elsa fan. I'm Team Elsa. And it just, and like I wrote down a fact, because we've not yet gotten to Frozen, obviously.
Okay.
But the bit was apparently inspired by Norwegian folk song called the Kulning. And it's traditionally used as technique by herders to communicate across long distance. And so the writers of the song mirrored that with Elsa searching for answers and her journey to find a place of her own.
Wow. There you go. Now, I have to admit, I've never seen Frozen 2. Yeah, I've not. I mean, it was one of those movies that, like, my grandkids, like, was on all the time. It's all the time. Mm-hmm. But then they sort of, I think by the time Frozen 2 came out, they were all grown out of Frozen. So I've never watched it. And I've heard mixed things about it. Obviously, a lot of people say that it's not as good as the first Frozen. And then there's some people that I've heard saying that it's better than the first Frozen. Where do you stand on
I'm definitely better.
Oh, really?
Yeah, definitely better. The soundtrack is fab. I mean, Christoph's got this fab solo song that's 80s rock inspired.
Oh, really?
Yes, and he's singing that with Sven. And Olaf's got a fab moment where he retells the story of the first film to these people that they've discovered. And it then went on to be a spin-off of Olaf shorts on Disney Plus.
Oh, right, okay.
There's just so many good moments in that film. But
okay, so you'd recommend it then, without a doubt?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
but that Into the Unknown is my Elsa moment over Let It Go.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I understand why Let It Go was the phenomenon that it was, but then when I watch this, and then when I listen to this, it's instant goosebumps for me.
Okay.
And I prefer her, the way that she's, like, her scene in this song compared to Let It Go as well.
Okay. I will add it to our list so I can.
Okay.
I will watch it. I will watch it. Okay, my number 8. Now, the one thing about Disney movies, especially the classic Disney movies, is there's always one moment in there that will tug at your heartstrings. Sometimes, like the Bambi moment with Bambi's mum, will absolutely destroy you. And I can remember, I don't know how old I was, but I can remember watching Peter Pan for the first time, and when the kids fly off with Peter. And Nana is there. The big dog is in the garden looking up, and I think Nana gets sprinkled with some of the fairy dust and starts floating as well.
Yeah,
she's a big German. No, was she? No, not German Shepherd. Was she? She was a.
I think she's Saint Bernard.
Saint Bernard. That's right, with like a little hat on, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And just the fact that she can see her children like floating off. It's heartbreaking, and I can remember it stopped me from watching that movie for years because it broke me as a child, because it was like, oh my god, poor Nana. Nana wants to go with them, but she can't, and then I think she ends up just like waving a little paw as they go off. It is just a beautiful moment, but it is so heartbreaking. Like I said, I can't remember what age I would have been when I first saw Peter Pan, but it definitely made me stop rewatching it for years and years, probably until I had my own kids, and then they wanted to watch it, and I thought, right, I'm going to mess your life up now by watching the same scene. But I mean, that's one of my favourite movies as well. Peter Pan. It's just got everything, and it's old school Disney. Do you know what I mean? It's old school Disney. Yeah,
Stephen's very team Captain Hook.
Really?
Yeah,
we're learning a lot about Stephen, aren't we? We definitely are learning a lot.
He doesn't believe Captain Hook's the villain.
Really? But all good villains don't believe they're villains, do they? Do you know what I mean? They feel that they're doing the right thing.
No, but he really thinks, no, he is not the villain. Peter Pan is the villain.
Oh, really? Oh, right. Okay, that is taking it a bit... that is taking it a bit too far. Oh my goodness! It tells a lot about Stephen's character if that's the kind of thing, you know. If he's got posters of Captain Hook up on his wall, that's a bit.
Well, he's not gone that far, but yeah, he is always the villain.
Okay. Well, anyway, that's my number 8. So we're on to your number 7, then, please, Jamie.
Okay, so this I had to specifically mention 2 moments for this one character, but it combines the same thing. So Pocahontas.
Okay.
So when John Smith first sees her, right? I don't know if you remember the scene. The waterfall's there, and the mist from the waterfall gives like a foggy atmosphere.
Yeah.
And she initially tries to run away, and I think he says stop, and she turns around and the wind just blows her hair across her face. Oh my god, just every time I see that, just how gentle the hair brushes over her face, that wind, and how beautiful she looks. And I wrote down the song Colours in the Wind as well, because there's a similar scene where the wind turns into her. So the way they do the colour effects, you see the wind blowing, and then it turns into her hair, and then the camera zooms, and then like it's her and John Smith are like dancing in the wind sort of thing. It's just, so just to get an idea so that people can understand why I've picked it's her really is a moment for me. And again, like when we did that episode, okay, there's a lot of problems with that film. Don't get me wrong, major problems.
What, you mean like historically, you mean?
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
But in terms of the animation, so like apparently it was so difficult to make for the animators because of I wrote it down, because of the complex color schemes, the angular shapes, and the facial expressions. It took them 5 years to make. And 55 animators alone it took to just do her.
That's crazy, isn't it?
I know.
It's crazy.
But like, she is so unique, and like they've never been able to do really anyone like her, and like just yeah, she just so stands out, and she's just so beautiful. And okay, it's so annoying how they treated her actual story, but in terms of like the design of the character and the, you know, and how they made the film in terms of an animated film, she's beautiful.
Yeah.
So she was.
I mean, the thing is, with a story like that, they have to Disneyfy it a little bit, don't? Well, not a little bit, a lot, really.
I mean, I think they went so far past that Disney line. I mean, yeah, it's so controversial that, I mean, we didn't go too into it because obviously we're not of that heritage. We don't have any family. But I think it's definitely one of those where I can see why you don't see a lot of merch.
Yeah.
They don't really push that film because I think they know they fucked up.
Yeah, and you don't tend to see at like Disney World when they do their parades that Pocahontas is
not really,
not front and center, but isn't even anywhere. You know, it's like,
no, and like she was very quickly like taken off of like their princess lineup as well. Like she's not really included in that now because they now kind of are afraid of the mistake I think that they made with that film.
Yeah.
Whereas this could actually be a one that I don't know if they've already looked into it, who knows, but you know, because they seem to be going down this road of all the remakes.
Yeah.
This is one they could correct.
Absolutely.
And they could do really well if they got the right team and the right people and make up for the error that they made by trying to rewrite her story into this, you know, Disney fairy tale.
But do you really think Disney would want to dip their toe into that after like the debacle of the Snow White remake, where that just ended up being nothing but like it wasn't really Disney's fault, I suppose, in regards to what the girl that played Snow White, what she was coming out with, and it obviously was taken the right or wrong way. It seemed to be so controversial with that, and it scuppered the movie. I mean, I say it scuppered the movie. I haven't seen how much it's taken at the box office. I'm assuming it wasn't.
I don't think it's made any money. As far as I'm aware, and currently it's got 2.2 stars on IMDb. That's
it. Yeah, and all you need is somebody to speak out like she did. That it ends up it kills the movie. You know, and
I mean, whoever was the PR person for that film, oh my god, must have been the hardest job.
You want to look on IMDb and see that their next project is Pocahontas, and they think, oh god, this is going to be it's not good.
I mean, I'm not for the remakes anyway. I'm the same. I don't get. I mean, why are they remaking Moana? I don't get that at all.
Because Moana's a perfect movie as well. Why do you don't need to make it?
But if they're going to do this reimagining, you know, that they claim to be doing, then do it with ones that they didn't get right the first time.
Yeah.
You know, and do it right for those cultures that they, you know, offended. You know, and get them involved and you know,
and do it that way. But then saying that, I think the trailers for Lilo and Stitch look amazing.
You know, it's just a like for like, though.
I mean, it is, but the thing is,
I mean, they've even used the same advertising campaign.
That is true. But the one key thing for something like Lilo and Stitch is not just getting Stitch right, but it's getting Lilo right. And that little girl that they've got playing seems to be, I mean, I don't know how old she is, maybe 8, 9, but she looks like a phenomenal actress. Like, she really looks like this could work.
Yeah.
I'm not a massive Lilo and Stitch
fan.
Neither
am I.
My wife, absolutely everything she's got is Stitch. Everything.
Well, she must be in her element because he's everywhere.
He is everywhere. So she's loving it. But I'm going to be. That's the only one that I've been interested to actually go and see. Okay. I must admit. But you know, like you say, I might be 10 minutes in and go, "Well, this is just like the cartoon. What's the point? What's the point?" Yeah. So we'll see.
Well, Lion King was.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they've all been. I mean, like, I haven't even watched all of Beauty and the Beast because I just thought, what's the point? So, okay, that's your number 7. My number 7, I'm going back to the real sort of the classic age of Disney again, and Robin Hood. which again, one of my favourite ones. And it's the archery contest. So it's when Robin goes and he's disguised as, I think it's like a crow or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he's got these arrows that are just made out of like rough branches.
Yeah.
And I'm a sucker, as you'll see in my number 6. I'm a sucker for like sports contests in cartoons. I don't know why. I honestly don't know why. I don't know, but that scene. I mean, Robin Hood again is a faultless, great, with one of the sexiest foxes I've ever seen in Maid Marian. I am not one for bestiality or anything, but she is fit she is so. And I don't know if whether you've seen the footage, but Disney animators used to use the same footage. I will put, for our Patreon subscribers, I'll put it on the video playlist. There is a clip of the Aristocats when I can't remember what the lead woman is. What's her name?
Yeah, so it's Duchess and I want to say O'Malley or the other cats, and they're dancing, and that's used in the Phony King of England scene, and it's Little John.
Marian. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Maid Marian, and then that's right. So it's Maid Marian dancing, and then there's the Jungle Book where it's Baloo and King Louis, and they've used that with Little John and the hen.
Yeah, it's really strange because when you see it together, you don't think anything of it. When you see it together, it's exact. Because I think I'm not 100% sure, but I know that they used to like rotoscope, or they would have human actors doing the movements for certain things, and then they would take those and then animate around it. So they've obviously used that same one, but it's weird until you actually see it together. You would never think that it's copied. A little bit of a cheat. You think,
yeah, and it was just a way to cutting costs, because he had passed and they were, didn't really know what they were doing, and they were just struggling, and they didn't really have anyone to sort of micromanage that sort of thing. And so to keep the budget under, they thought, it's Jungle Book, Sword in the Stone, and Aristocats and Robin Hood. 4 of those 4, you will see very similar clips.
Right. See, I only thought it was 2. When you're blowing my mind that they used 4.
Yeah. But so, like when Arthur gets jumped on by the wolves, that's the same as Mowgli being jumped on by the wolves.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Right. See, but we've still got the cornflakes, so they are still geniuses. Yes. They're still geniuses. Okay, that was my number 7. So what's your number 6 then, Jamie?
Right. So this is my one of 2. So this film is going to come up later.
Okay.
So it's the prologue to Beauty and the Beast.
All right. Okay.
So it's everything about that prologue. So the very piano alone, I think it's the piano of the music intro, and then the castle, and then the narration starts, and he starts telling the story, and you're seeing the stained glass of the story being played out. Chills every time. I think that's one of a few songs without singing that people instantly know. Oh my God, that's Beauty and the Beast. And it's a piece of music that you could just listen to, even though there's no words.
Yeah.
And it gives you goosebumps. And it's just the way that he wrote it to go alongside the narration as well. I mean, yeah.
It's a great way of getting the exposition out straight away, and sets up the lore and sets up everything in the first 4 or 5 minutes. It's a great way of doing it. Yeah. Yeah.
And a little fun fact about Beauty and the Beast. Walt attempted it twice before.
Oh, really?
Yes, in the 30s and the 50s, but he just never liked any of the treatments that were coming to him, and it got put back on the shelf. And thanks to the Little Mermaid, it got dusted off, and they thought, let's attack this again. And thank God.
Yeah, it is one of the. It's one of the when they had like their Renaissance, wasn't it? It was one of the ones that was like one of the top-notch ones, without a doubt.
Oh yeah,
yeah, so good. Okay, that's your number 6. My number 6, I mentioned the Robin Hood one, that I do like a good sports scene in a movie.
Yes.
So I'm going for the football match in Bed Knobs and Broomsticks.
Oh my God!
Because it's not only the fact that it's a great football match, but it's that thing that Disney did so well that was, again, I'm assuming, I'm pretty sure it was way ahead of its time, where it was animation and real life people. So okay, I know it's not a fully animated scene, but it's animation and it's real life, footage intermingled, a bit the same as Mary Poppins with the penguins and Dick Van Dyke. And I just love this scene. And I know what the score is going to be every single time. It's not like I'm watching a real football match. But it's just fantastic. It's just so much fun, and it's perfect Disney to me. It's exactly what Disney is all about. It is a fun, 5 or 6 minute scene where you have animals playing against, and it's David. Keep forgetting what's the guy's name. David Tomlinson. Is that right? David, thank you very much. You're going to be great at the quiz, I'm telling you. If you don't get 10 out of 10, if you don't get 10 out of 10, there's something wrong. Yeah, and Angela Lansbury was in that as well, wasn't she? Yeah.
This is nice.
That's right. It's such a good. It's quite a dark movie in places, but it's so much fun. It's so much fun.
Me and Stephen actually prefer Bed Knobs to Mary Poppins.
Do you?
Yes.
Interesting. Have you done a Bed Knobs and Broomsticks episode?
Not yet, but we did Mary Poppins.
Okay.
We did Mary Poppins, but no, we didn't do Bed Knobs.
Right.
It was hard because we did Mary Poppins because we finished season with The Jungle Book, and because that was Walt's last, because he died during that, to honour that him, when we got to that stage, we decided to go with Mary Poppins because it was one of his most proudest pieces of work that he did. And it was a era where, Disneyland had opened, it had been open 10 years. Mary Poppins was like the huge hit. And he made loads of money off of that. And so we ended up going with Mary Poppins because of that.
Makes sense. Okay, we're halfway through, so it's time for this.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
Yes, pop quiz, hot shot. So here we go. It's a Disney quiz, but what I'm going to do, and it's all about Disney voices. So I'm going to give you the name of the character and the movie, and you need to tell me what famous person did the voice. Okay, and it's not remakes, okay, or any of those kind. It's the original cartoons. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. Number 1, Zazu in The Lion King.
Oh, it's Mr. Bean, Rowan Atkinson.
All right.
1 out of 1. Very good. Number 2, Vanellope in Wreck-It Ralph.
Sarah Silverman.
All right.
2 out of 2.
You're going to get sick of that, Sarah.
2. I'm hoping I'm going to hear it 10 times. That's what I'm hoping. Nick Wilde in Zootopia.
Jason Bateman.
Oh.
All right.
3 out of 3. I mean, this one's going to be easy for you. Olaf in Frozen.
Oh, Josh Gad.
All right.
Is correct. Bruno in Encanto.
Oh my God, what's his name? Because it's Luigi from the Mario Brothers movie.
What a pull that is.
Linguarma. Something linguarma. Oh my god.
You have to get it absolutely right. I can't give you a
Okay.
point for Linguama. I'm sorry. Or Linguini, who was from Ratatouille, who is a Pixar movie, as I've already found out.
It's
Come on, Jamie. Come on. You're 4 out of 4 so far.
I know. I can see his face. He was in ER.
He was.
He was in Tu Wong Fu.
He was.
Yeah.
And his name is? You're so close.
It's on the tip of my tongue. So I'll have...
Wrong answer.
It was John Leguizamo.
Oh, no, I don't think I would have said that.
Right, okay.
I wouldn't have said that. I was close to the linguini.
You was going along the right way. You just needed to put a bit of zazz in there, literally Leguizamo. Okay, number 6, Dodger from Oliver and Company.
Billy Joel.
Of course.
All right.
If there's ever a number that should be said with a Scottish accent, every name is Billy Joel, isn't it? Just say it again.
Why should I worry?
Say his name again for me.
Billy Joel.
There you go. That's perfect. Okay, here's another easy one for you. John Smith, Pocahontas.
Oh, Mel Gibson.
All right.
Correct. Mushu in Mulan.
Eddie Murphy.
Is
All
correct.
right.
Jane in Tarzan.
Oh, Minnie Driver.
Is correct.
All right.
And for a 9 out of 10, Kuzco, Emperor's New Groove.
Oh, Spade. Thingy Spade. Spader. No, Spade.
Spader. No, it's Spade, but I need his first name.
Spade. It's SNL. Do I get half a point?
I will give you half a point for Spade, but I need his
It's
first
Spade,
name.
isn't it?
It is Spade.
I'm just going quickly through the alphabet. A, B, C, D. No.
I'm going to give you half a point, so I'm going to give you a splat for that. That's
Okay.
well done, though. David Spade.
Oh no, D was not coming to me. I don't know why David
but
didn't come to me.
well done, though. That is 8.5 out of 10. So very well worth the applause that you're getting from our wonderfully big crowd that is gathered in my little shed.
I actually am so looking forward to doing Emperor's New Groove on the podcast.
I think that's one of the really sort of missed movies. Do you know what I mean? That people don't ever think about.
Hilarious.
Yeah,
Yeah, love it.
John Goodman's great in it, and I can never remember what's the guy's name that plays the big guy.
That plays Kronk.
Kronk, yeah. Who is that? Who is it that plays Kronk?
Yeah, and he was
Patrick Warburton.
Yeah, he does loads of voices.
He does, but they're all the same voice. Is the thing, isn't it? He does voices.
Him and David Spade did that comedy together, where they're Spade's like this bachelor, and Patrick is married to this woman, and it's about them trying for a baby, and they're a group of friends, and I can't remember what it's called, but it was funny. It was one of those programs that was randomly on Channel 4.
Oh, right, okay.
With Will and Grace and Fraser.
Yeah.
And
But yeah, he's definitely got one of those voices that is like is perfect for like doing voice characters without a doubt. Okay, back to normal, but well done. 8.5 out of 10 is very, very good. Well done. You'll be led in bed tonight going, oh God, David Spade and Leguizamo. I would have got 10 out of 10. No, I don't know. Okay, you're number 5 then, please, Jamie. And to let you know, we haven't had any the same so far.
No, we've had the same film, but not the same moment.
Not the same moment, yeah.
Okay. Right, so the Blue Fairy turning Pinocchio alive.
Okay.
Yeah, so when she comes in to Geppetto's cottage and she, taps her wand on Pinocchio and he becomes, alive. It's
Becomes
just
a boy.
oh, well, it's a talking puppet at this point, so
Yeah.
he's not yet a real boy. But yeah, that whole scene again. I think how they did that, amazing. The animation of that and how she looks like she's sparkling and glowing, and and the tap of the wand and just that whole scene, where he's made his wish and she comes and
It's so good.
that scene
So
alone is one of them that you see often when it's used in like a collage of Disney.
Like Disney moments.
Yeah. And
yeah.
and a little fact about the Blue Fairy.
Yes.
So the woman that did the voice and the modeling modeled for Columbia Pictures, so she's the
No, that's not the same woman.
I'm sure it is. It was one of our facts on the film, so yeah.
Right, well, I'm gonna knock your quiz score up to 9. I'm gonna take that add an extra point for that.
The original Columbia Pictures logo. Yeah, Evelyn Venable, her name was.
Wow.
I know.
I hope you're enjoying this, ladies and gentlemen, for all the facts that you are learning. If you're sat on the seat for like the £1 million question on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and they say, who else did the Blue Fairy do? And it's Jamie you got to thank for winning the $1 million.
I know, because they have had a Disney question as the £1 million question.
Have they? What was it?
Yeah, and I'm sure the answer was Pongo and Perdita. It was to do with the name of it must have been like, what is the lead characters in 101 Dalmatians, or the couple dogs, or something like that, and the answer was Pongo and Perdita, and they didn't get it.
Well, at least it wasn't John Leguizamo. Hey.
No,
Can you imagine? Okay, so that was your
number 5.
That was your number 5. My number 5. Now, this is the one that I've had to quickly put in because it was originally going to be when the food critic eats the ratatouille and goes back to his childhood in Ratatouille, because that is an amazing moment, but it's Pixar, so I fucked up there. So so I've quickly put in Hakuna Matata from The Lion King.
Okay.
Mainly because it's The Lion King is, I think it goes beyond being iconic, whether it's the movie, not the remake, because again, the remake is pointless. What's the point of doing it? And the stage show obviously is amazing as well. But it's one of those moments, every song in The Lion King, and in The Lion King 2, if you like, is that He Lives in You is just an amazing.
I love that one.
Oh, and when they play it on the stage show, it just gets you there,
Yeah.
To be fair, that's what. Actually, no, I'm going to put He Lives in You at number 5 because it is a movie, isn't it? It was I think it was a straight to DVD movie, but I'm going to change that. I'm going to put He Lives in You because that song gets me every time. Mainly when I've seen it on stage, on the Lion King stage show. But I got the funny feeling like are you not a Lion King fan?
No,
you had that little bit of look on your face then when I said Lion King. Oh, okay.
No, I do like the Lion King. I did give it a 5 out of 5 because I actually couldn't fault it. But it's what I was just shocked that you put out. It was because I've got Lion King further down, and I thought, we're going to pick the same scene, and because you picked a different one, I was like, oh, okay.
Okay. I mean, that's
so
not
more like that.
That's not to say I haven't got another Lion King in there. So just to let you know. Okay, you're number 4 then, please.
Okay, so although it's a character, for me, this character is a moment. And that's the genie in Aladdin.
Yeah, we probably would have had the same because I had that at like number 11. It didn't quite get into my top 10. But what else can you say about Robin Williams? It was like he was made for that role.
Oh, I mean, we had to do our special episode just on him because it was like 10 minutes is not enough, to talk about him and his part with that film. But yeah, and I put down one of the facts from that podcast. So to convince him to play the part, the animator of the genie, Eric Goldberg, who is co-director of Pocahontas, he animated a little scene of one of his stand-ups as the genie.
Great.
And showed him. So when he was obviously in meetings to talk about whether or not he was going to take the role, Eric Goldberg, said, "Look, I've got something to show you." Showed him this clip, and he went, "Oh, yeah, okay, you've got me."
Yeah.
Yeah, and then went back to the table, negotiating thing, and that's when he laid all his demands.
When you talk about Disney movies, you can't help but we try and stay away from the iconic, the I word, the iconic thing, because it just becomes same as like when people keep saying everything's a legend or whatever, it becomes meaningless. But I think that was another reason why I just made a point of not watching the Aladdin remake, because there's no way that Will Smith can do anything that is going to top what. I mean, I don't know. I've never seen it, so he may be amazing.
I went to see it with Stephen.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, no, we did like it. And I must admit, Will Smith did his own spin.
Right.
And thank God he did.
Yeah.
He did not try and copy it at all. Basically, he took the Fresh Prince and made that the genie. So it was his own, basically.
Right. Which I think is the only way you could do it.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah, the only way.
Yeah.
Because it must have been like I don't know what he must have felt when he got offered. He must have had that pressure though. But yeah, luckily, no, I thought he did a good job of making it his own, considering who had done it previously.
I mean, you'll be able to tell me better than anybody, but wasn't that then like the doorway that opened up to them using established talent like as voice actors rather than just using voice actors before? Wasn't that the time when they thought, okay, we can get big stars now to come and be...
It was definitely the time they abused that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And him being the first. But yeah, I mean, they had stars before that. Obviously, Bette Midler was in Oliver and Company, along with Billy Joel.
There you go.
Yeah, Billy Joel. And, The Little Mermaid, Ursula, Pat O'Carroll.
Right.
I mean, she was, I think, big at the time. But yeah, I mean, the whole Robin Williams thing, like I say, it was definitely when they decided, we can market this.
Yeah.
And I think they regret not doing that with the likes of Oliver and Company.
Because he famously didn't come back for the straight to DVD Return of Jafar, did he? It was.
We don't want to talk about.
No, but it was. If I'm right, it was Dan Castellaneta who does Homer Simpson. That's the one who did the voice.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
But then didn't he? I think he then came back for the third one. So I think they must.
He did.
They backed the money truck up to his house, I'm sure, at that point.
Well, Eisner presented him with an original Picasso.
There you go.
Okay.
That'll do it.
And Katzenberg finally left.
Right, there you go.
And the new guy went, and I think he publicly apologized, actually. So, he did what... I think when they announce... It's an American thing. We obviously don't do it. But with big companies like that, when senior leaders get moved around or positioned, they do these, public... They come and they introduce themselves. And they say what they're going to do. And the guy, I think his name was Tim Roth, took over, and he publicly apologized to Robin Williams.
Yeah. Which was the right thing to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So then we wouldn't have had Flubber.
Well, that's true. Holy moly. Okay. Now, you mentioned earlier on, I can't remember which one it was for, where you said that the Blue Fairy in Pinocchio, that's a moment when they have just what they call montages of Disney history. This one is always in there as well, and it's the meatball meal with Lady and the Tramp.
Oh yeah.
It is just apart from the fact that they look like some really good meatballs.
Yes.
I mean, it looks like a hell of a meal. You know, if I love watching food on whether it's real or drawn or whatever. But it is that thing when, you know, Trump is like using his nose and then when they eat a bit of spaghetti and then they their mouths touch.
Yeah.
It's just so sweet and so cute. I don't have the same feelings for Lady as I do for Maid Marian. I will say that. Let me just get that clear. But it's just an I'll have to say it again, an iconic classic Disney moment. But it is so beautiful with, you know, This Is the Night and all that, the music playing in the background, and it wasn't until I was doing that I didn't even realise that they've done a live action remake of Lady and the Tramp.
Yes.
I didn't even realise they'd done that. So I obviously must have switched my brain off every time it got mentioned, because I had no idea that they'd even done that. Which makes
it went straight to Disney Plus, so
that's probably why
you missed it.
It might have been a COVID thing that just got buried.
It was one of their originals to get people to sign up, I think.
Right, okay, that's fair enough. But that's my number 4. So your number 3 then, please, Jamie.
Right, so Beauty and the Beast again.
Okay.
The Beast's transformation. Now, when I was a kid and I saw this always amazed me how he turned from that beast into that gorgeous long blonde hair, blue-eyed prince.
Okay, first I need to just back up here a minute. Is he gorgeous, or did he just look like Martin Clunes?
Well, no, funny enough, Stephen doesn't find him attractive, but I do.
It looks a little bit like they're yeah, I didn't see. I can't. Obviously, he's not.
The 90s, I was into the long hair.
Right.
Yeah, like Keanu Reeves, Chesney Hawks.
Okay.
Carter, like they're, yeah. They were
names I wasn't thinking we were going to be talking about on this podcast. Chesney Hawks, everybody. Next week, Chesney Hawks top 10, which will be the one and only 10 times.
But yeah, so
love you, Chesney.
Yes. Oh, I definitely love you, Chesney.
There you go.
So yeah, no, and the fact that I thought he had died as well. You know, like watching that for the first time, and then when she finally said, "I love you," and then the magic fireworks comes, and then he floats. Now, I've never seen the stage version in real life. However, I have read numerous comments of people still to this day never knowing how they actually are able to do that on the stage. Because again, they've been able to bring that magic into that moment where no matter how many times people have gone to see it, they still can't figure out how it turned in to the, like, on stage. So yeah, and how they've been able to keep it a secret as well.
And if you go on YouTube, and I'll put this on for our Patreon subscribers, Tokyo Disney, the Beauty and the Beast ride there. Have you seen that?
No, I've not been to Tokyo yet. But
have a look at the video for it, because that moment in it is, again, I've not seen the stage show, but it's like that. You look at it and you go, how have they done that?
Yeah.
It is ridiculous. It's crazy.
It's just magic.
It is it's Disney magic.
I know.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Disney magic. But that's a great one. Apart from obviously looking like Martin Clunes. Nothing wrong with you, Martin. I'm sorry if you're listening. You and Chesney having a pint together, listening to this podcast and going, what the fuck? What are they having a go at us for? Sorry, Martin. I love you. Okay. My number 3, this is my other Lion King one. And it's Simba reclaims Pride Rock.
Okay.
At the end. No, don't look impressed with Lion King at all. It's raining. No, that's fair enough. I
know.
It's raining. Yeah. They've been fighting, and they've killed. Scar has died. Scar has gone, and he takes his moment, and it's the beautiful music that gets you every time, and then gets to the end of Pride Rock and roars, and then it basically just as a repeat of the start of the movie, where it's the circle of life again. It's a great way to end the movie, especially with the doom at the end.
Yes.
It's just fantastic. Such an emotional moment. But that's really interesting. Then, if that isn't okay, all right. So, what's your number 2?
The Lion King.
Okay.
And it's the opening scene.
The circle of life.
Yes.
There
I mean, the fact as well that they hadn't done anything like that before, considering like everything else they'd sort of set the bar with in all their previous films, from stories they chose, or like moments in films like you've mentioned, Lady and the Tramp, etc., music and then even after having the success that they've just had with Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and then they go and make this. And it's like, and I'll never forget the first time I saw this scene, because it was used as the trailer.
That's right. Yeah.
And instantly it was like, I don't think at first I thought it was a Disney film. If I remember rightly, I didn't know it was Disney until obviously at the very end but just like the sound of the cricket at the beginning.
Yeah.
Just before the
I can remember watching it for the first time, and I couldn't understand why they were talking about Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger, which is that Arsene Wenger, and I thought, why? Yeah. And then obviously you realise it isn't Arsene Wenger at all. It's something else. But you're absolutely right. They'd never done anything like that before, and the fact that they had, it was not a spoiler, but the trailer was the whole opening of the movie.
Oh.
It was just fantastic.
Again, never been done before. It's like 3-4 minute long.
Yeah. I mean, we've almost got a duplicate, because the Simba reclaiming Pride Rock, and at the end it basically does that scene again. So it's I'm not going to put it down as a duplicate, but it is kind of a duplicate.
But it's like The Lion King was the B movie as well, because this and Pocahontas were done side by side.
Right.
Albeit Pocahontas took longer.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be, that was the one they thought.
The big one.
This is going to win us that Best Picture Oscar.
Yeah.
And instead, Lion King became the hit. Yeah. And that wasn't how the film was originally going to be opening as well. It was supposed to be a heavy narrated opening with lots of dialogue. And it was thanks to Hans Zimmer that we have that opening, because he wanted plenty of music to play with in between the narration.
Right.
So he made that song even longer. And when he played it to the animators or like the team, they went, "Oh my God, no, we have to do something completely different. This music is amazing." Yeah. Obviously, I'm ad-libbing there. But yeah, and then they went ahead and animated that opening scene.
Yeah. It's classic Disney as always. Okay, my number 2. Now I know by the sounds of it, you're not impressed with the fact that they're making a real life remake of this one, but Moana. I'm going for Moana, and it's when Moana transforms to Fiti at the end.
Oh yeah.
When she walks, and it's a different kind of animation, obviously, than the classic Disney of Robin Hood and things like that. But it just looks beautiful when she walks through the parted water. And it's just, and again, exactly. And again, it's Lin-Manuel Miranda. So I cry at every single song, every single moment. Even You're Welcome makes me cry for some reason. I don't know why. But it's a beautiful movie. It really is, because it's again, it feels like it's something a little bit different to what Disney normally do. And again, I'm a little bit iffy. I don't understand why you want to make a remake where The Rock is now just playing the character. It just doesn't make any sense. But I said that about Lilo and Stitch and said I'm quite interested in that one, but we'll get to it. But that's my number 2. So, Jamie, if we got this one the same, which I don't think we have, we're only going to have one duplicate. But we might not have any. But then I think that shows just how many great Disney moments there are, and we've got so many to choose from. So hit us with your number 1 Disney animated moment.
Okay. Cinderella's dress transformation.
No, I haven't got that one.
No. When we did Cinderella on the podcast, I was so relieved to be past the war stuff, because that was very painful for the both of us to get through. And to sit down and actually watch, with no devices, no nothing, to sit and watch that film, we really appreciated Cinderella more than we would have because of how we watched them, because we did them in order and whatnot. And and that scene, just no matter how many times I've seen it, I just think it's the essence of Disney magic. I think if I instantly think of that when I think of Disney, I instantly think of that when I think of Walt Disney, or animation as a whole. And even the pencil drawing of it, I love. I probably love that the most because you can see all the tiny, specks that they drew to make the magic that, swirls around her as she's, amazing piece of film.
Yeah. And that is vintage classic Disney, without a doubt. Great one. Unfortunately, we haven't got any duplicates, so nobody won that one, but never mind. My number 1, I'm going to bookend with my number 10. It's from Encanto, my favourite Disney movie. And where you were saying about the circle of life, that it starts the movie off in a great way, I'm actually going to go for the family madrigal at the start. Because it is a perfect way of getting all the exposition out of everybody that's in this family that you need to know about in just a kick-ass song. Just a great up-tempo fun song that tells you everything you need to know about all the family, about their situation, about where they live, about them helping the rest of the villagers, and it is just a perfect start to a perfect movie for me. And it's Lin-Manuel Miranda. God, if only I have a pound for every time I've said Lin-Manuel Miranda on this podcast.
No, honestly, I love Lin-Manuel. To me, he's probably the closest we've had to Howard Ashman, because very much like Howard Ashman, he's good at telling the story within the lyrics.
Yes.
Which and helps move the story with the lyrics as well,
and in a unique way as well. It's the way that he uses rhythm and words. It's just phenomenal. It never ceases to amaze me, the kind of stuff that he does. So unfortunately, no duplicates, but I think we've got 20. We'll say 21 because you've got 2 for Pocahontas in one. For number 7. I'm going to count that. Don't worry, I'm going to count that. We've got some honourable mentions. So Eliza Friedenberg, hello Eliza, says when Aladdin sets the genie free. In Aladdin. Beauty and the Beast, where he lets Belle see her father, same movie, the Be Our Guest scene, and also when she kisses the Beast and he turns into Martin Clunes. She didn't put Martin Clunes. She said turns human. Maria Pereira said The Lion King when Simba takes back Pride Rock. The Aristocats, Everybody Wants to Be a Cat. Now I'm going to go back and listen to the soundtrack. David Ye says too many to list, but I'll try in no particular order. Aladdin, Escaping the Cave of Wonders. The Lion King Stampede, which is another great one. The Hunchback of Notre Dame Sanctuary. Tarzan Surfing Through the Trees. Fantasia 2000 Firebird Suite.
Oh, he's picked good ones.
Atlantis, The Lost Empire, The Leviathan Attack. I mean, that's a movie that doesn't get very much much discussed about it. The Rescuers Down Under and Marahoot Rescue and Flight.
Yes.
Right. What's Marahoot?
Marahute. She's the golden
Marahute.
eagle.
Right, lovely.
So when he falls, he slips. He releases her because she's caught in a trap, and he uses a little penknife to cut her. And as she opens her wings, she knocks him off this like massive cliff, and she flies right down and gets him. And then the whole scene with them flying in Australian outback is it's amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to knock you back up to 10 for your quiz now, because that is all I said was Marahoot. I didn't even say it right to start with. It was Marahute, was it? And look at that. You literally got everything. I didn't. Well, there you go. Well done. To continue, Dinosaur, the meteor shower. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Roller Coaster Rabbit. I didn't even think of putting Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I mean, it is animated because it's in Toontown and stuff. And Song of the South, The Laughing Place. Obviously, Song of the South is another one of those movies. Yeah.
But I was very fortunate. I did have it on video because you could get it here.
That's right. Absolutely.
I think it was just us in Japan randomly. And yes, it was one that I did watch a lot when I was a kid. Obviously not knowing or understanding.
You wouldn't think about it, would you? No. Jodie Coop, hello Jodie, says Snow White, the first ever full-length animated movie. Lips as red as the rose scene. Bambi, when Bambi loses her mum. Little Mermaid, Kiss the Girl, when Ariel and Prince... Prince? I didn't know Prince was in the movie.
Prince Eric.
Prince Eric, that's right. Yeah. That's right. I thought Purple Rain Prince are in the rowboat. Mulan, We Are Men, when Mulan convinces the troop to dress up as concubines so they can enter the kingdom walls to protect the emperor. Dumbo, Baby Mine, when Dumbo's trunk goes through the cage. That's another one of those moments. And says to her mum, and the trunk returns to touch him. That's probably worse than the Nana scene from Peter Pan. That moment, without a doubt. Oh, I'm thinking about that one.
I mean, your heart would have to be black as ice to not cry at that scene.
Would Stephen cry at that scene?
I think he did say it. I can't remember.
But then he thinks that Captain Hook is one of his heroes. I mean, we've got to think about that, really. Ask him next time. I will.
And
Lady and the Tramp, Dog Pound song, when all the dogs are in the pound start singing. And at Just This One Me on X said, I don't know about the greatest moment, but the low battery, aka drunken scene in Big Hero 6 is ridiculously funny. And Simple Tan Morin says, The Little Mermaid, the part when the ship leaves the dock, the sadness and despair on Ariel's face paired with Alan Menken's score, the sound just rips your heart. Thank you very much for all of those honourable moments there.
Well, Stephen actually, when I told him, obviously, that it was tonight, he messaged and says, these are a couple of the ones I would have picked.
Okay.
He's not done them in an order, so I'll just quickly run through them. But he would have said the opening of The Lion King as well.
Okay.
Sir Hiss folding his arms.
Oh, what, in Robin Hood?
Robin Hood,
yeah. So good.
He just put Bambi, but I'm assuming he's meaning like similar to what I said. Yeah. But he also put the moment when the dwarfs cry when Snow White dies.
Okay.
And he's also added a little fact.
Really? Wonderful.
Yeah, he's put, many animators stated that this moment stirred up that much emotion was the moment they knew it was a hit.
Right. And that makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Thank you very much, Stephen. From your cold black heart, you. So, Jamie, tell everybody how they can get your podcast and where they can find it and how they can get in touch with you.
Okay, so you can get in touch with us on TikTok, which I'm actually working on at the minute. I'm really trying to do more on there. But Threads, we're always active on Threads. And it's just at the Jamie and Stephen Show. You can listen to us on wherever you get your podcast, even on YouTube.
Wonderful.
So we're on there as well. And you can drop us an email, the Jamie and Stephen Show at outlook.com.
Wonderful. And we'll put all those links in the show notes. All you got to do is scroll on the show notes and click away. And the pods are a lot of fun. They are, I must admit, they're a lot of fun. I need to listen to a few more, definitely get into now that I know what you're like in regards to what you like. It's going to be interesting just to pick through some of these.
Well, we're very opposite, obviously the most obvious, I'm female, he's male. I'm Scottish, he's English. I'm straight, he's gay.
Oh, right, okay.
And he's pro villain, whereas I'm, more hero.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And he often meets Bob Iger in Sainsbury's.
Does he really?
Oh yeah, he's always bumping into him doing the shop.
Whereabouts is this? Does he live in Los Angeles? Does he, Stephen? Or
let's listen to the podcast.
There you go.
Need to find out.
That's the perfect way of doing it. And from our end, obviously, you'll hear Neil with his dulcet tones tell you everything about where you can get all of our gubbins. It's all in the show notes. If you want to come and be a if you want to come and be a Patreon subscriber, you can come and if you come and join us at the £5 tier, you can be a guest on your own episode, just like Jamie is here. Thank you, Jamie. It's been so much fun.
Thanks for having me.
Well, please, hopefully come back again.
I am definitely coming back.
Excellent. So thank you very much, Jamie. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching and listening. Now let's go start the countdown.